In this video, we're going to be ranking the major non-lethal options in Dishonored across the series, from worst to best. At number 20, we have Sparing the Outsider. Out of all the options on this list, this one makes the least sense. It actually makes no sense to save the Outsider. You're better off just taking him out. Because, according to Dowd, the Outsider has been fucking with people for hundreds, if not thousands of years. That's why he wants to take him out. The Outsider isn't some victim. He gives people his mark for his own entertainment. So why the fuck would you save him? To reward his behavior? Of course not. It's not his fault that he became the Outsider, but how he acted afterwards is completely on him. At number 19, we have Knock Out Edgar Wakefield. The only thing I have to say about this option is that it makes no difference either way. At number 18, we have Knock Out Everyone at the Hound Pit's hub. To be honest, the lethal option is the better choice, but either way, it doesn't really matter. At number 17, we have Giving Lydia Boyle to Mr. Grimsby. I've got something to say about this one. So, it's pretty much confirmed that Lydia Boyle paid for Dowd to take out the Empress. It wasn't her plan, but she basically made it happen. Then you had Mr. Grimsby tell you to give her to him, like she's some sort of prize, instead of taking her out just because he likes her. Absolutely ridiculous. Who's to say that Lydia Boyle doesn't end up back at the Boyle estate? It's not like she has 24-hour surveillance. I suppose if you give her to Mr. Grimsby, you're giving her a second chance. But I think because of how damaging her actions have been, you take the bitch out. At number 16, we have use electroshock machine on Kieran Jindosh. I don't think it's that satisfying seeing Jindosh become a vegetable. I actually think that Jindosh is a pretty good villain, and it is sad to see what he does to Anton Sokolov. Even so, I'd rather see Jindosh taken out than seeing him in such a vulnerable state. At number 15, we have Sen Rothwald in a crate. This one is just funny. Rothwald is an asshole, and he treats his workers like garbage. The way he treats whales is also despicable. This is a fitting punishment for him. At number 14, we have Imprisoned Delilah in the Void. This one makes little sense because you have already trapped Delilah in the Void, in the Brigmore Witches. And what happened? She found a way out. It took her a bit of time, but she managed to do it. The whole idea in the second game is that because Delilah created a new world through a painting, if you add a corrupted bone charm to the ritual, she will think that she has changed the world, when really, she hasn't. And she's trapped in a fake world where she can't tell the difference. But with Delilah, nothing is ever out of the question. It's possible she could figure out her ritual didn't work and break out of the void once again. Delilah is broken at the end of Dishonored 2 because even though she becomes the Empress and she gets all this power, she finds a way to lose it all. This could be higher up on this list, but I think this is about right. At number 13, we have Sabotage Brianna Ashworth's Oraculum Machine. You probably don't need reminding just how dangerous Brianna Ashworth is. She is arguably more dangerous than Delilah. Although it is cool to see her life's work destroyed by switching out a simple lens, I think it's risky to leave her alive because she could just rebuild what she's lost. I think Brianna is actually a genius because she found a way to make herself even stronger than she was before. How she managed to do it, I have no idea. One thing for certain is that she needs to be taken out. At number 12, we have Make a Deal with the Hatter Gang. You could just take out Old Man Hatter, but the more interesting choice is to make a deal. If you do this, you will actually be on good terms with both the Dead Eel and the Hatter Gang. It's also a win-win for both gangs because they both get something in return from your actions. At number 11, we have Send the Pendleton Twins to the Mines. This could have been in the top 10. I do think that the deal with Slackjaw to have the twins working in the mines is kind of harsh, but also fitting for politicians who like to talk a lot. It's also kind of a good thing for Trevor Pendleton, who doesn't have to live with too much guilt if you choose this option, which shouldn't really matter because he ends up betraying you anyway. But being outside the top 10 is about right. At number 10, we have Imprison Delilah in the Void. This is the first one in the top 10. This is better than imprisoning Delilah in Dishonored 2 because it makes more sense. We really didn't know how strong Delilah was in the DLCs, so you don't really make much of trapping her in the Void. Also, Dowd had just come back from taking out the Empress. One of the biggest mistakes he has ever made. So finding a way to eliminate Delilah without killing her is a win-win because he has enough blood on his hands. He saves the new Empress without having to use his blade. At number 9, we have Make Luca Abel's body double, Duke. This was genius by Arcane Studios. The reason this is so good is because Luke Abel is such a piece of shit. He lives like a king, while he lets Serkanos go to waste, and does nothing. So why not make his body double the Duke? Someone who might actually make a difference. It's satisfying seeing the former Duke being ushered out by the guards. His actions caused so much damage that he should have been fired years ago, even though the title of Duke is inherited. It's not a job that you apply for. At number 8, we have Knockout Aramis Stilton. The game shows us that Aramis Stilton is someone you would do anything for. He is someone people love to be around and work for. That's why it is heartbreaking to see what has happened to him. It is also sad to see what has become of his mansion. It feels so good knocking him out and then going back into the future to see the mansion full of people and in such a good state. There is a statue of Aramis Stilton in the Dust District, which shows how much people admire and respect him. He really is a special person, and this option is one of the best in the series. At number 7, you have getting Arnold Timsh evicted. This is one of the funniest options in the series. First off, you find someone who wants revenge on Arnold Timsh. You then stink out his house and have him running out to meet a royal guard. He then hands over a letter you sabotage, which ends up getting him arrested. Then he faints. It's brilliant. At number 6, we have branding the High Overseer. There is a running joke in the game. The High Overseer breaks the 7 strictures daily. Even he admits to this and laughs about it. Branding him is so fitting because he's not really an overseer. Sure, he has the title, but he doesn't really adhere to the strictures. He just uses this title to live a lavish lifestyle. By branding him, he loses this title and his lifestyle. At number 5, we have solve Kiran Jindosh's lock. The first time I saw this, I was in awe. Then I quickly realized I couldn't figure out how to solve the riddle. The reason why this is so high up is because the game gives you the option to solve the riddle without any clues. You could argue that this doesn't really matter because you can steal the answers, but it's still awesome. At number 4, we have exposing the Lord Regent over radio. This is like the Duke of Sokonos in Dishonored 2, but much worse. We find out that Hiram Burris, or the Lord Regent, not only had the Empress killed, but he also caused the plague that wiped out this city. It is also really satisfying broadcasting his crimes in his own voice to the public. As he's being arrested, he tries to bribe some guards, but one of them tells him his actions nearly destroyed this city, and no amount of money can ever pay for that. More importantly, this audio clears Corvey's name and any involvement in Jasmine Colwyn's death. At number 3, we have save Dr. Alexandria Hypatia. Like Aramis Stilton, Dr. Alexandria Hypatia is a victim of foul play. Using magic, she was turned into the Crown Killer to take out Emily's opposers and make it look like she did it. What's worse is that Hypatia doesn't once remember becoming the Crown Killer, and her memory is something that seems to be failing. It is sad to see how Dr. Hypatia is, because she wants to help people, but she's not being allowed to, and instead, she's being forced to harm people. By saving her with the antidote, you give her a chance to start helping people again, and you stop the Crown Killer. At number 2, we have sparing Dowd. I used to kill Dowd every time I played Dishonored, but now I just let him go. Dowd kills the Empress, who was your lover, the mother of your child, and the ruler of the Isles. Dowd also kidnaps Emily, imprisons you, and after tries to take you out. I guess it actually makes sense to take him out. He is basically asking for it. If you wait long enough after you fight Dowd, he says that when he drove his knife into the Empress, something broke inside of him. At this point, you're not even angry anymore. You're just apathetic. And at this point in time, the loyalists deserve the knife more than him. At number 1, we have sparing Billy Lurk. This is the best non-lethal option in the series. Billy Lurk makes a deal with Delilah, betraying Dowd, getting the Overseers to infiltrate the flooded district to capture and interrogate assassins. When you get back from a mission, you free your assassins and take out all the Overseers. If your chaos is low at the end of this DLC, Billy Lurk surrenders and says her life is in your hands. This is such a hard decision because Dowd spent decades training and essentially raising Billy, only for her to stab him in the back. Taking her out is probably the right decision, but at the same time, because of how much history both characters have, you don't really want to do it. This is the best non-lethal option in the series because even after you free Billy and let her go, you're still not sure it was the right decision. And that's about it.